day we are going to this thing, play World Cup. Our whole number 6, somebody say he will not allow him visa. If he was Russian with Putin's bomb pointing upwards.
Let me start this way. I will say, yeah, Commissioner of Inquiry, make us say, FIFA, no need to me. In fact, they are a registered legal entity in Switzerland. And I'm they are so powerful. I used to tell you this. They are a registered organization in Switzerland, so they are subject to Swiss law. Only soldiers, only police for. They are an association, international association managing a certain sport. In fact, you can even form another football organization to run football, maybe with slightly different rules. And the other one is when they give the hosting rights to a country, in this case 3 countries, they normally reach an agreement. That's on Metro on Kataso. Say we now be. Now when it comes to immigration and entry into the country, the hosting country, all those rights are part of the sovereign rights of the country. On my own, the basic term and say, fine, country are qualified by your rules. But so when it comes to immigration, security, and you can say entry requirements, visa, you are not a country, so you cannot control it. FIFA does not control these things, except say in the agreement which is reached for hosting the tournament. Hosting countries will be guaranteed say Ubia or meet criteria. In this case, Thomas Partey, fine. He has been charged on, I think, 7 counts of rape and sexual assault. UK. They are charging him. They've taken his plea. They haven't started the trial until in 1 or 4. And worldwide, the standard legal principle is that you are innocent until you are proven guilty in a criminal trial. It's here to mean Kase, you 1 or 4. And Bonena, they have to know so why. It's a guy, a minimum besides identity. And a Canadian immigration for the same moment. Well, they are not telling the truth. The truth of the matter is that by Canadian immigration rules, even if you have not been convicted, but they see you as a risk. It's our background minty. Some say we will party and now my kids, more than 7, and also. For us as lawyers, it seems as if any prosecutor will look at you and say that it's as if it is a pattern of behavior. You have not been convicted yet, but it's as if it's a pattern of behavior. So by Canadian law, although you are innocent until proven guilty, by their immigration standards, if they think that you will be a risk to their society, they can refuse to give you the visa. The leaders, so let us not begin to blame the Canadian, immigration authority for having committed any international. No, by the agreement which they reached with FIFA, they are supposed to guarantee the entry depending on whether the person the person who is entering fulfills the legal standards. And I make us say, in particular, the risk factor is very high. So I can understand why they have refused to give it. In fact, there is a gentleman called, Hakimi, Ashraf Hakimi. He has a similar problem. Are you aware of it?
Yeah.
Good. But Morocco, for locally, more matches in the US. So, also for Canada, you would have faced the same problem. In fact, if Morocco, go through second round, Toronto, any other kind, you have the same problem. I'm telling you. Now, what is the solution? I am suggesting the way America say, just like the preparation, the ministry should have thought ahead. I remember talking to the FA president a year ago and telling him, say, Pateno, me and feeling into no so because he born to square to start no not how much charges no can make out. And I catch and say, me and feeling into some say, Obi I born to square do you better try in November. Since you might say I shift to try for 2027. Or the tournament. June. Psychologically, he will not be there. I remember prompting him. So I'm asking myself, what sort of forward-look thinking was done about this gentleman in terms of the application for visas? Because somebody who is in the let's say Ghana High Commission or Canadian Canada should have known the standards for application for visas. And should have realized it's a problem. So what are we doing about it? Now, I'm suggesting that first of all, let's use the diplomatic channels because immigration officers, no, they are normally under authority. Ministry of Interior, Canada, and they in charge. Our president can pick up a phone and call the Canadian Prime Minister. I can't say, oh, say yes, no, even if he doesn't meet your standard because high risk. And there protocols, security protocol, so that the risk will be managed. It is like I say, okay, the NIB, BNI, security for the call. Now, I'm going to come home, Ejipate, Orlando, or Cheka, Orlando, security for together with Canada for security service, or Mutia, as Chaperon, Wakon Hotel, the hotel, or mobile, Susa, or Kobon Matria, or the hotel, Nagara for Nepo. So we can assure the Canadian authorities, political authorities, say, some risk factor say we can resolve it through enhanced security protocols. That's one thing we can do, so that the Minister of Interior, the Prime Minister can instruct the Minister of Interior, say, decision you are taking, but we can reverse it. Because all immigration decisions are subject to appeal. So we can go through that route. The other route is to use, as I said, the diplomatic channels. Now, any Minister of Interior, you can say, Prime Minister Edim Komo. So we can use the diplomatic channels, we can use the legal channels of appeal through the Canadian immigration system, because immigration decision there you take, you can appeal against it. Now we're in an emergency, so if we get some lawyers in Canada, they can help us. Now I can say we will enhance security protocols that are made. The other third one everyone wants to Infantino, people have always into me Somali near born of tree. Well, fine. And so FIFA, Chicago, Yamuna movie Sicano. So I only say, for example, cooling break now, Omodiamano. I'm advertisers, are you aware?
Yes, say a book game Nani drew, I won't say you're changing the advertising.
Yes, it is your tournament. Move FIFA for one. I say the fair play is the name of the game. FIFA can make an appeal to the Canadian Football Association and to the Canadian because they awarded the hosting rights to the government. Say, you have a match. Team Bakuna Airbano, almost symbol for Bakupani, Pate, Obiani, Pate is one of the best midfielders in the whole world. It is a winning film because of this decision. You are weakening the competition. Oh, they say you are going to weaken the Ghanaian team, and eventually you are fixing the match in favor of Panama. It is a film. To resonate with everybody, and they will be able to rescind the decision. Then we provide enhanced protocols. Now, Abua.
I say any nchichimu ahodo free blasters team ABC Thomas Partey ade amaye meja kwamu akwe still uja so gina baabi a ugina say Black Stars team we World Cup ayakọ 2006 2010 2014 ne 2022 no Black Stars team we ene ebe perform worse when it comes to your World Cup ayakọ nyina
striker. The American can say it is the weakest, it is the worst prepared. Oh, the American. Now I'm looking at it on the physical level. But so I don't know what God will do, but I know God close enough to know say or baby 2010 we knew says I think most people have forgotten. It was made up of players are no more winning under 20 at the world level. Two, they also went to the Cup of Nations in Angola and were the second. As well as
yeah.
So the quality was there and the preparation was good. 2006, 2014, the preparation here. The only problem is the South and the high. All the mission. So we know, you know, and I think analysis am I now one of the reasons why I say we took Ghana say Ghana for do makuma and then match we because football I say you. Odu akoma ko so obi betumi pra Oh, to be perfect, so obi Ghana I say and to be we free. No, it must say Ghana for we should lower our expectations in respect of this tournament. The corner then you hope on hiding and be a players now no my and but the new only here. This is the weakest, it is the less prepared team for a World Cup that we've ever had. And our coach too, he doesn't really know these players. So I don't know. I don't have as much confidence as I had in all the teams previously. But me cannot go Ghana for one. I'm not every as I said, they can get some practice, but it's not too late. At least one practice game might help to build some confidence and cohesion going into the game against Panama. Maybe if they do that, it might help. But from what I can see, the striker,
Lawyer Moses Fuamoni, lawyer Bedowasi and pay for your time.
Emra. And the first point, establishes Canadian rules, immigration rules, even a pendant. Also, normally, a fan is a human right.
Yeah.
We beat me at table be the knuckle court now, no Caribbean. Tien Tremo Timor for Nympha. Na bam, Bohose Pine said, I dear no deep man, I for Ansana. And who's so be our how wait me after. That's what we all think is the right way. But Otian Comonuma, Canada for it, say, oh, Bimpo, sir. I am dear 70 years. That's all your eyes over your crew, I am out. The spirit of the law near said they feel that a bit me you soon know about a secret. Whilst the case no cost no journey. Instead, the embassy of Hobart for the Mukrana, I bet it's over far Hannah or far baby, the Emma Ungram. Instead, Bride, the Hoda Dada, and yes, Partey Bay into the Macquaco Fast Amranaba. Mitier Brafua, the opposite can say a woman sadia, but a Mrane drew baby. You have some net the hopano. Me a penhopumus, Brenia, they are 2 years. A branty, and you will crew no barber tanache. If you are Mamma Jimony, say, some woman called for our massam, and that's what was in Libya. Every babu crew, my bit me for our baby Daniel, poor Mucra, you, my barber says, or I shall not born wager. Would me bet some new free. Babranti, and yes, sanity. War bass alcohol. Because I didn't the neighbor and Emma in deep beer, Dabamiansa. Number 2, on sign no beer. War pe baby in West ya. And a penashana, Nesha Edding. A you cool neighbor, and you cool, and you good year to a beer to say, walk out. Into the Shisha Nedding. Nature crime pen Nedding. So Mukromon among person better now, and also Nedding free say. March in the crown of bow where you are sound for us, Alcobo. And yes, all bonnet matches in our crumompo, and he is nobody. Abacaso, a nipper beer, if you're not number to baby. Until that one word the other, one amount for the alcacra. But I am running aka. Nippon home said, you know, a person they do baby in your pet. Until minimum how long this decision I share if you want to watch it. But I think, Captain, any danger and Kate me who be me. There can be other factors and keep it me a pool. I'm a party to me and your crew.
So, I know I and some.
European countries, either they are holding European passport or already they were holding a resident permit of that country. And the blasters and the Omu passport, as it were in the case in the past, and players in our Krumano, and the Canadian High Commission, and yet deny Omu access of getting visa. And what they suggest, therefore, they say, Partey not different from the other players if you Holland, other players if you Germany, other boys no European passport, including Jordan Ayew Mono. All of them, say second passport as a Ghanaian Ukraine,
a European passport, that also allows him to travel to Canada, US, and all those countries. And in the case of Partey, I'm so naturalized here. But then I'm aware, say, where then Ukra paying for permit and Ukra UK for also permit even as we speak. Because I don't know the court. I want to know. And in the visa, and it's a UK for now, ominin issue, like you rightly said. Ankasa utimikoho. Because if you severe him entry and access, deny him entry and access to Canada, it therefore presupposes or suggests, say, then the UK as a country herself should rather not entertain him on their territory. Now, Omun trying in absentia, if not anything at all, he's in Europe, and Omun trying European jurisdiction. Answer is no. Why? They allow him access into the UK, in and out. He's not restricted from entering UK. And it's unrestricted now what they call UK. And what him call attending the case. And he restricting to other European jurisdictions. And what him call no oya then need trade border. How on earth did the Ghana mission, and for that matter, Ghana Ministry of Sports, anti-men because only Wales for football match. Wales is also a Commonwealth country, and the I believe that not party or Wales will be, which is also another Commonwealth. It is a Canada for apply the application of the Commonwealth, UK, and Canada, New Zealand, Australia, or that kind of an agreement, But so that agreement, the head of that agreement is the UK, the royal. And the royal country now, how dare say Canada as a Commonwealth, that for union partnership now, what the inner of the Commonwealth Association, New Zealand, UK, and then also Canada and Australia. Tamo de salon in the DD and a Canada so man visa. There are three things here. Ghana always, as I said, we sit down, we keep quiet, and everything we dodge around it, we diplomatically, without understanding it, and then comment about it and let it go. It is a security. It's craziness. It's an insane and insult on the face of the country. Because one, Canada, the Partey, our existing issue with Canada, which we know that hangs in the balance. Even in that, they have to give him, since it's a World Cup stage, within that case, that rape case, and you're only UK for only Canada and war. And as Sabi, he is not being convicted. He is going through trial. And it will go through trial. That trial is not concluded. And we'll call UK. And we'll PR. What is Canadian beef? One, so Canada for any no issue. Ghana without delay. There is an issue we have to escalate. And then you have to raise the bar, as I've said in some of the cases now. It is completely a disgrace on the face of the country. Because the international tabloids will pick the story. Canada has not come out. And one say, yeah, man. But we hear some of the reasons, which I believe say, maybe bloggers idea. And say, a UK case, in Canada man visa. That cannot be a reason. That in itself cannot be a reason because UK now it is a Union Commonwealth agreement of a crime indictment name and name or there because our territory and our BPA and our Wales. And now the Ministry of Sports and the GFE, MHA and said, every bank and a Partey's Canadian visa was denied because they were going to America and now they're already in the Robben Island and it's already in USA. Time then you deny Partey. Where did they apply for his Canadian visa that Ghana was not made known? Ministry of Sports. It's just under a week and the minister can say that issue is not there. Until the sports ministry could not protest. The sports ministry could not protest. I'm aware and very much aware of the Canadian immigration and then Canadian, almost your friends, how they handle their visa. It's a country, an immigrant state. In Domo, two different things. The mission called the embassy and the Canadian migration. When you are taking a visa from Canadian High Commission all over the world, and embassy all over the world, they include you on the Canadian data as a potential immigrant. Until you're playing out the buyer and also take it web PF from system and send them consider as a visitor. Get it clear. Canada so big visa. That's what could run Canada. They call you a potential immigrant. UK was like that until say Jerry Rollins and New around early 90s, 94 there. Yes, say and New dear. But Canada will be do Canada. Next way then. So near then so Chrome visa do airport no man in South say or problem on Canada and Jimmy deport him. Because yeah the visa ma BK wa minimum ba me no ka say no mo de akoka o migration pa ayi ho population ayi data no ho who pia no makwa ko you through. What does it mean? The budget for those immigrants no more visa in case when pia like I said the country will not be under shock. And this convention and this declaration, this agreement, they did it when Chrétien in the early 90s. Now a Canadian Prime Minister, Emra, are you for year imagine said Quebec once, no? Are you imagine so much? The shameful election ever happened in the Western Hemisphere. Woman said Quebec for some French. They wanted the country self-determination. Omundu omonso. Mokotwa ba funny enough. Only one person and a separate room because not Queen and persons are the but no persons still like Quebec for a better part of Canada. And you know, the population is better short because if you look at the land of Canada bigger than America, more population is not even up to 35 or 40 or 40 million. And look at the country. And Canada had always seed and sought for. And you know, Mama India for mom get to her or my better crony now. Now say Abba, now you're World Cup stage. Now you're player. International loan, where you player, or bubble with Spain, where you player, what bubble or UK for over 5 years and more, where you player, what's in Europe over several years. The last 10, 15 years has seen the boy in Europe. And today, crime and war, every banner, FI, Omo Protocol Service, Minister of Health, Sports, Omo Protocol Service, and then the Ghana High Commissioner, a Ghana ambassador in Spain. I'll bring them in because a national program, national assignment. It is a Partey Canadian visa. Partey himself does not alone even go to the embassy. It's rather the Minister of Sports that petitions, that tells the Ghana mission, the Ghana ambassador or the Ghana embassy in Madrid. Munje Yanya letter of introduction. Not the Minister of Sports. And the GFA, 2 letters of introduction back from GFA. They know what I'm talking about. And then the ministry is also aware. Now the FIFA list now, your players now, you are submitting. More the list in their account. And the world is aware and they are aware. They don't even need to make mention of. Now the list in account, never be any D1, more shady, more highlighted. And they are cancer 3 documents in their Ghana protocol officer at the Ghana embassy. Now we're decapitating. No, Canadian High Commission. Is that what they did? No. And answer is Partey having Canadian visa and they denied him because we hear report now. Conflicting, they said he was denied entry. Somebody denied entry is not denied visa. Mm-hmm. Which one of the issues are we dealing with? We get confused with things. You're denying entry. Not just to passport and visa and Yamanangrum. In January Immigration Canada. Name you deny no access to visa there. That means it was in Spain. And yeah, Accra because Partey Ghana a Canadian High Commissioner Accra. And if there's anything now, protest should be going now. Mm-hmm. We should be firing us now. We should be firing warning to the Canadian even embassy over here. I ask them and question them for them to come up what they know about it. Because Partey's jurisdiction, so the jurisdiction is Spain. And a nationality Ghana and yet deny no national assignment. We have authority to ask. In the case we bet you men can
Mr. Awahab. Me bam kakra na mabisa. Ye ken se ye kase UK for ene ne Partey nya asem enka Canada for de wonumu enka ho eti enwo se wo musi ne kwan a what of so obi beka se Canada for so wo omu migration mu no enhyehyeye omu de ye adwuma na UK for so ewo de ode ye adwuma eti ebi omu de ne se ye bo obi charge se ya untumi mewura ha ti omu de omu mra na ye adwuma na no emmam aside say omu sign to international treaties.
Let us also not forget about the FIFA law of breaking down frontiers or call on assignment of the world. Or call an assignment of the world, or call the FIFA assignment of World Cup stage. Canada or sign it with FIFA. And when you are going to a contest, now so will be host to World Cup now. These are the following. One, Obama asked for participating countries regardless, without discriminating, segregating. A lot of those things are enshrined in that. FIFA Act in the When they obey, and our country be, not player B is not eligible. That is the word used. You notify the country, long as the host nation, players, officials, government officials, team officials now, you pre-notify them to FIFA. Has Canada done that? That is not how it works. You have to notify FIFA. The list of the moment a list in the buyer. Now, names are Canada or Behosu Ghana team. No, every player be an Idinaba. I want you allowed to come there. No. You notify FIFA. You notify the country. Have they done that? Meaning they all can, but that is how it is done. You must advance notice. That is the word. Or pre-notify them. So let's wait about until FIFA for the country be a 26 member number. You cannot say, but the moment they are banned, it is a walkable ball.
But Mr. Hawa, but no FIFA for so some more de ba yes, or more announcement. He said, or mono or munni to me, a woman be a migration and she say yes. So
that is fair. That is fair. Immigration and customs, FIFA has no authority, but then FIFA has the right to have the knowledge so that they can inform the association members participating. Because Ghana found players a week. You have 26 players a week. Partey a player. I didn't see the FIFA does not give us exceptions and exemptions. And I'm saying Partey team in Kobo born into no. Monfa 27 players. Na Panama the end, Ghana bit my presented 27. Name of America do presented 26. FIFA doesn't do that. If FIFA does not do that, what I'm saying is that the FIFA has in the contract of host nations, sir, if for whichever reason, political, social, economic, and any reasons of any country be on penny nationals, on penny players be bahono, you notify FIFA, including the supporters and the spectators. And no crime the FIFA doesn't go because restricting who to the team, not to the general public, unless it's something outrageous. And she said the FIFA Canada Mrana Oma apply say yes, Canada was immigration. But Canada migration should not at this point on the case a year pending. On the case it's against UK. And of course, on name Madika there are 4 agreements. Yes, there's an existing agreement between New Zealand, Australia, UK, and then the Canada.
Politics, everybody
Everybody.